Hello, John Wehmer with Cornerstone Wealth Management here. Going to talk to you for about 4 or 5 minutes today about saving for retirement and some of the most frequently asked questions that we hear in our office around retirement. And we're going to stick today on things we can control, right? There's some of the retirement equation that's out of our control. And we'll talk about some of those things in future videos. But today we're going to talk about what's in our control. And the most common question that we get is, how much should I be contributing for retirement, right? That's a really tough one. I always like to respond to that with a saying, a quote. I don't know who to attribute this to, so I apologize. But the quote is, if when saving for retirement, you want to save as much as you can, as early as you can, and take as much risk as you feel comfortable taking. And again, I really like that because it rings true, right? For everybody, it's going to be a little bit different. I would say a good rule of thumb as far as starting for retirement savings is to save about 10 to 15% a year if you're just getting started. If you're not just getting started and you're in your 40s, 50s, you're already on that trajectory, then your question becomes more of a, am I on track, right? And that requires sitting down, figuring out, hey, what's my end destination? How much money do I need in retirement to live the lifestyle I want? And then can figure out if you're on pace to achieve that or not. So you can sit down with a professional to do that. There's some great online calculators that can assist you in doing that as well. Once you figure out that right contribution level, the question then becomes, should I be doing traditional or Roth contributions, right? And just to separate the two, traditional contributions are typically pre-tax, right? Where you get a tax benefit or a tax deduction of putting the money in now, and then gross tax deferred. And then when you reach into that account in retirement, it's taxable upon distribution. The Roth accounts are kind of the inverse of that, right? There's not a big tax benefit now. You're contributing with after tax dollars, but then those dollars grow tax free. And so when you reach into that account in retirement, that's tax-free dollars that come back out. And so I'm a big believer in tax diversification. I think you want both types of accounts when you retire. So it makes a lot of sense when contributing to, in your earlier years, if possible, go ahead and pay taxes and make those Roth contributions. And then when you hit your highest income earning years, you're in your highest income tax bracket. Well, boy, then you can maximize those tax deductions of doing those traditional contributions. The end result is when you're in retirement, you've got this nest egg of money that you're now reaching in to pull income from. It's a lot easier to plan around taxes if we have the ability to pull from different tax types, right? So that's important to build that up as you're accumulating things. So you're contributing the right amount, you're doing it to the right accounts. What the heck should you be investing in, right? Well, I'm a big believer that the best long-term goals are met with long-term investments. And I believe the best long-term investments historically have been stocks and bonds. And you can see some of the great long-term results that are on the screen here. Also, in contrast to that, are the short-term results, which can be pretty volatile and pretty wide as far as the spread of returns. So it's important when you're picking your investment allocation that you're owning the appropriate mix of stocks to bonds, something that fits both your time horizon and something that fits your risk tolerance. Because in addition to driving returns, how much you own in stocks and bonds is also going to drive or dictate your volatility, right? The ups and downs, the swings of your portfolio. And you want something that you can stick to even in times of uncertainty or times of volatility. And that brings us to the fourth and last question that we get most commonly, which is, okay, how do I stay the course, right? I feel like I'm doing everything right, but the outcomes, especially in 2022, weren't in the direction that we were anticipating, right? Well, it's important to realize that this is not a one-year journey or a 6-month journey. These are, as we mentioned, long-term investments and long-term accounts. So it's important that we, to some degree, turn out the new noise or tune out the noise. And not get overly drawn into the conversation about what earnings are going to be tomorrow or what inflation or interest rates are going to be next week, and look more at the longer term picture. And if we look long term, both stocks and bonds have been a great tool to build wealth over time. Even more importantly, they've been a great tool to keep pace with inflation over time. And so a retirement account needs to have these type of assets in them. The question is just, what's the right mix? Now, once you find the right mix for you, it's not buy and forget. It's buy and rebalance, right? You want to make sure that you're maintaining that target allocation over time, and you're not letting the market drift you outside of that. Now, you either can do that individually, you can do that with a professional, or there's a lot of target funds which will kind of have that automated inside of the investment itself. And those were all the frequently asked questions. It's important, though, that after you answer all these, that you don't kind of put that away for the next 10 or 15 years. It's important that you ask yourself these questions at least once every year, kind of do a review process. On the screen is our review process that we use with clients. And, once we actually tackle that retirement part of the house, we tend to, with clients, move on to other areas as well. And so today, we're going to limit our conversation to retirement. I'll provide some more videos in the future on these other areas around insurance, cash flows, and taxes. But if you have any questions on the retirement information shared today, or want to take some time to figure out what the right amount or asset allocation is for you going forward, please reach out to us at any of the numbers on the screen today. It was great spending some time with you via video, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Take care.